So let's look at our word problem. Sarah's parents left to go shopping at 5:35. If they got back home at 8:45, how long were they gone? So I can see that 5:35 is my begin time. That's my begin time. That B is not working, sorry. And 8:45 is going to be my end time. That's going to be my end time, and I'm trying to figure out how long they were gone. So what is that elapsed time? I prefer to do my big jumps first. So let's do a big jump first. So 1 hour is a big jump. So that would be 6:45. If I add 6:35, excuse me, if I add 1 hour, then I realize I haven't made it to 8:45, so I'm going to add another hour on there. And then I would be at 7:35. I still haven't made it to my hour here, so I'm going to add another hour. So I'm going to add that one more hour, and oh yes, now I've gotten to 8:35. So I'm at my hour, but I still haven't made it to my end time. So I have to think, well, I could jump 8:35, 8:36, 37, but I know this one's pretty easy. If I just add 10 more minutes, if I add 10 more minutes here, I can make that jump of 10 minutes. And that would get me to my end time of 8:45. So I have not answered the question because it asked how long they were gone. Well, in order to find out how long they were gone, I need to figure out all of this elapsed time together. So I'm just counting 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, and 10 minutes. So the answer would be they were gone 3 hours and 10 minutes. That would be a good third grade answer because I've answered the question and I have work to show that I can back up my answer. So that's just one way when we know our beginning time and our ending time, how we can solve for that elapsed time. So we're going to look at a different type of problem. So let's look at our next word problem. Paige was helping her mom cook dinner. If they started cooking at 5:45 and it took them an hour and 20 minutes to finish, what time was their meal ready? So I see that we have our start time and we have our elapsed time, but we don't know our end time. So we have to figure out what is our end time. So I've already added our 5:45 to our start time. And then I have, as I said before, I like to start with my biggest jump first. So I see this 1 hour is going to be my large jump. So we're going to add 1 hour on here. And then you should be thinking to yourself, well, if you add 1 hour, you're only changing your hour. So instead of being 5:45, we now have 6:45. And then I like to work with round numbers, so I'm going to add in just 5 minutes. So if I add in just 5 minutes, I'll have 6:50. So I'll have 6:50 then. And then I know I have to always remember, can't forget that there's only 60 minutes in the hour. So if I add another 10 minutes, well, I'll have to go to my next hour. So let me go ahead and add that 10 minutes in. And so now the time will be 7 o'clock. So I've added 1 hour. I've added 15 minutes, but it said 1 hour 20 minutes. So of course I know I have to add just 5 more minutes to our time. So 7 o'clock plus 5 minutes. My hour hand isn't changing, only my minutes. So the new time, which is actually our end time, would be 7:05. So looking at our question, what time was the meal ready? We would answer that by saying the meal is ready at 7:05 p.m. And remembering that it's got to be p.m. because it is dinner time, and that makes the most sense. So that's the time we want to use. So I hope that helps you when you have a start time and a lapse time and you're trying to figure out what is the end time. All right, for this last problem, we're going to tackle our hardest problem yet. David was playing Fortnite for 2 hours and 30 minutes till 7:20. What time did David start playing Fortnite? Well, this looks very different from those others that we've tried. Let's look at what our VIP words are. Well, I know he was playing for 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's how long he was playing. So that's our elapsed time. And I know till 7:20, that means that is our end time, which I've noted right here. 7:20 is our end time. And we're looking for this start time. So we have to find our start time. So in order to do that, I'm going from my end time and I'm going backwards in time. So just like I like to make my big jumps first when I know my start time, I'm going to do that same thing going backwards. So 2 hours, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 1 hour jumps. And you know, if you want to do just one big 2 hour jump, you could do that also. I'm just doing them separate just to help me as I count. So 7:20 minus 1 hour. Remember, that is a minus. I'm going to put that right here. Hopefully you can see that, minus 1 hour. So my and my time would be 6:20 now. So 6:20. And then I'm going to take another hour and I'm going to subtract that second hour. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my big minus there. So I remember I'm subtracting 1 hour. So my new time would be 5:20 here. Remember, I'm only working on my hours. I have not done anything with my minute hand. And so I'm going to have to subtract again. This time I know I have to subtract 30 minutes. I'm just going to do by tens. So if I subtract 10 minutes here, I'll have 5:10 because I'm working over here in my minutes. I take my 10 away. I'm going to put that minus there also. Minus 10, okay? And then I'm going to subtract another 10 minutes. So I'm going to subtract another 10 minutes here. Now if I take away the 10 minutes here that I have, I'm going to have 5 o'clock exactly. Oh, wow. But I have to subtract 30 minutes, so I have to think about this. I do have to subtract another 10 minutes, but really have to think about what is my time going to be. Well, I'm going to go backwards in time, and I have to think. Remembering that there is 60 minutes in that clock, 60 minus 10 is not going to be 5:50, but instead it will be 4:50. That was a super challenging problem. It is going to be 4:50 because I'm going to take 10 minutes away from that 5 o'clock hour. So one way to check would always be to do the opposite and add up. So 4:50 plus 10 would be 5 o'clock, plus 10, 5:10, plus 10, 5:20, plus an hour, 6:20, and plus another hour, 7:20. So yeah, it does check out. So my question, what time did David start playing Fortnite? Well, David, I hope this was a weekend day that he started playing. David started playing at 4:50 p.m. and he was playing for 2 hours and 30 minutes until 7:20. So that's going to be our answer. Hopefully, looking at these different ways will help you solve your elapsed time problems.